You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be strong, you gotta be tough, you gotta be smarter. You gotta be cool, you gotta stay calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is that I am 2 years free. Some, woo, my God. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be strong, you gotta be tough, you gotta be smarter. You gotta be cool, you gotta stay calm, you gotta stay together. All I know is that I am 2 years free from alcohol, y'all. I have reached my 2 year sobriety mark. It's your girl, Mary B, and welcome back to another episode of Something's Gotta Give. And you guessed it, today's episode is going to be about my sobriety journey. And specifically, I want to share a story that I've kept near and dear to my heart. I hardly share it with people because the truth it is quite embarrassing, and it reveals the darkest place that I got to be in during my phase of addiction with alcohol. I often share that it used to be fun until it wasn't, and this story really highlights the point in time where it was no longer fun. I started to really realize this is a problem, and we need to deal with it sooner than later before I don't have anything left. Now, I can't believe that I'm about to tell this story because it's very vulnerable of me. And to be honest, I still feel some shame that a version of me acted like that and had to go through that. Until this very day, I'm still paying for what I did. But here goes nothing. I will say this episode may be a trigger to some people who have had maybe a loss, a family member or anyone close to them due to drunk driving, or if you're just sensitive or don't have any grace for people who drink and drive. Because I used to be a drunk driver. I used to drink and drive quite often. To be honest, I was a designated drunk driver. Sounds crazy as hell coming out of my lips now, but it's honestly pretty common. We all have our friend groups, especially if you're someone that's in the party scene, and everyone has that one friend in the group that everyone votes to be responsible enough or to be clear minded enough or strong enough to be able to get everyone home safe. This started for me when I was in college. I was a designated drunk driver. And one time when I was younger, I let my friend convince me that she should drive my car even though we both had consumed the same amount of alcohol. Again, I got very loose tongued when I would drink. So I would visibly seem like I would be more intoxicated. But if we drunk the same, how could one be worse than the other, right? We're both in the same playing field, but people don't like to be honest about just the truth of alcoholism. I myself was not honest about the truth of what happens with drinking. So the first time I let someone convince me that they should drive my car for me and I'll be in the passenger seat, she crashed my car. And it felt crazy to be in the passenger side witnessing someone be as intoxicated as me, but I'm seeing that she's crashing my car. Luckily, she was responsible enough to pay for my car, but after that, I convinced myself that there was no better drunk driver than me. So after I moved from Boston and moved to LA and made my group of friends here and my social life here, I just never allowed anyone to drive my car again because I had yet to experience crashing my own car from drunk driving. See, I got away with it for a few years. I might have been really watched over by God, is the only thing. that can explain how I got away with it for so long. But all things have to come to an end. What is done in the dark will always come to light, y'all, when it is time. And my time had come. I would say when the pandemic hit in 2020 was the peak of my alcoholism. That's when I can say alcoholism really took its toll. I started to drink every day in the house because I didn't know what to do with my free time. I didn't like to be with myself, with my thoughts. I just always needed a distraction. And at the time, too, I was in a very toxic relationship with an alcoholic who also played a very big part in how much my drinking increased during those years. Now, oh my God. In 2020, I was very good friends with someone who moved out here from Boston. And she also became my drinking buddy too. So if I wasn't drinking with my boyfriend at the time, I was drinking with her, or I was drinking with my roommate at the time. Everyone around me was partaking in overconsumption of alcohol. I honestly feel like everybody during the pandemic was living the same life, just in a different state. But for me, it didn't necessarily change when things started to open back up again, or people got the freedom to enjoy life. For me, it's just like, let's keep going. The party's up. So 2021 comes around, and accident one happens. I believe it's like March or April. And my friend who moved out here from Boston, she had been pregnant for the past 9 months. And she took isolation. I forgot what it's called. But during COVID, we had to stay in the house. She took that very serious, especially her being pregnant. She didn't want to risk anything. So she stopped hanging out with me, especially during the last trimester, because she wanted to make sure that she gave birth to a healthy baby. Because I was not someone who necessarily followed the logistics and the rules that were set out for us during COVID. I still refused to wear a mask. I socialized very often. I didn't quarantine. That's what it is. I didn't quarantine. I didn't practice space. So rightfully so, she took time away from me. But after she gave birth, I had told her, you know what? We need to have a girls' day. I miss you so much. Let's hang out. I'll take you out to celebrate giving birth. What better way to celebrate than you drinking again, right? So I pick her up. We have a time in Pasadena, y'all. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. She did too. We started at an oyster bar because she hasn't had seafood in a while either, right? We're shooting back oysters, but we're in this kind of like outdoor restaurant area in Pasadena. So next door, there's like a bar restaurant. We go over there and we make friends with the waitresses and the manager, and it's drink after drink after drink after drink. Mind you, I drove, right? We get hammered. I always felt like I was responsible of taking her home. So I always carried that burden. So after we left the bar, we're on the highway, and I end up crashing into someone in front of me on the highway. I don't remember this, y'all. I do not remember this. And I somehow convinced the person that I hit to not call the police. I just gave them my insurance information. I said I'm fully covered. Just contact them. Like, they'll take care of your car. I drive home. I find out that my friend Ubers home from my house. And I go to sleep. Mind you, I do not remember this. I woke up in the morning, though, like an alarm clock went off. But my body just jumped up. And my head just kept telling me, go to your car, go to your car, go to your car. So I jump out of bed, put my shoes on, I run to the garage, and my front of my vehicle is so messed up. I'm looking at my car like, this is totaled. My car is totaled. What did I do? I don't remember getting these people information. I don't have nothing. So I take my car to this auto body shop because I think I had taken it to this auto body shop beforehand for some silly thing that I got into it that I like hit my car with prior. Because I knew my insurance company was going to be covered if I would cover it if I take it to this car shop. I get to the car shop, I'm in the phone with my insurance company. The guy who I'm talking to knows how much of an idiot I sound like on the phone, because he's just like, please don't tell me that you just didn't take pictures. I know you just didn't tell me that. So what I'm going to need you to do is act like you didn't say that. Take pictures of your car now. It was havoc. Long story short, I was saved by the grace of God just by a couple $100. My car made the mark of being able to be repaired before they totaled it. I made it by a landslide. They fixed my car. Cool. Of course, I feel horrible. I feel ashamed. I'm like, I'm never drinking and driving again. Wrong. I wish I meant that. And I probably did mean that. I did mean that in a sober state of mind. But as soon as you become drunk again, you lose all common sense. You lose the promises that you've made to yourself. All responsibilities go out the door, right? So when I'm drunk again, I'm back to that version of me that witnessed my friend crash my car, that has convinced me that I'm the best drunk driver around and that I'm a pro at this, right? So now we're back into I'm comfortable drinking and driving again. Mind you, I never became comfortable with it sober-minded, but once I was drunk, there was no telling me otherwise. Now we come to accident number 2 while I'm drinking and driving. By coincidence, I'm with the same friend. I'm questioning nowadays, was it a coincidence? But that's besides the point. That would make for another podcast episode. But me and this girl work together now. I got her a job bartending with me. We get off work and we go to this dive bar that's nearby our job. Mind you, we get off at about 10, 11 o'clock. We're already drinking prior to getting off of work. And it's so smart to go to the bar up the street to continue drinking and get some food, right? Mary, what in the world? So I go to the bar with her. We get hammered yet again. And of course, I feel responsible for taking her home. Now, the thing is, she's easily 30 minutes away from where we currently are. My house, I could have gotten home in 12 minutes tops. But I drive her home first. I get in the car. I drive 30 minutes out, drop her off at home. I don't remember this, but I'm pretty sure I fell asleep at the wheel. Because the next thing I know, I'm about 5 minutes away from my house. I'm at an intersection. I look up, all airbags are deployed, and I'm seeing my car. So I've been taken out of my car. I'm standing on the sidewalk. There's this man talking to me, and it took me a while to register what was going on, because what I'm seeing is my car hit a pole. The pole is knocked over. My car is totaled. All airbags are deployed. I'm at an intersection. There's people coming and going. And this man is talking to me with a tow truck parked next to us. And there's 2 more tow trucks, I remember, essentially cleaning up the scene. And he says, You need to come with me now. I'll take you home. I'll let you know where I move your car to. Don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of this for you. But we need to go now because clearly you've been drinking and driving. And if you stay, you're going to get in trouble. I'm just going with it because, Did I do this again? I'm alive? This is crazy. I'm in the car with this man. He gives me his business card. He tells me that my car is going to be at a certain parking lot that he was going to tow to it for free. Drove me to my house, dropped me off at home, and I never spoke to him again. And he did all of this for free. I never paid that man. Till this day, I cannot believe that that's a real story. I really just looked up from crashing my car into a pole. I survived after my car was completely wrecked. And then someone just happened to be there at the same time with tow trucks, called multiple other ones to come to the scene to clean up the scene so I wouldn't get arrested or have to make a huge claim for what I just did. I end up finding my car, confirming that it's totaled, have to call my insurance policy, cancel the insurance policy. The most expensive thing I had to do was figure out how I was going to sell this car. I probably sold it for dirt cheap. I probably could have gotten more money for it. But I only had a limited amount of time that I could keep my car in that lot because, of course, after 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, like the price increases with your car just sitting there. The man towed it there for free. But of course, he wasn't going to pay for it. And this is my responsibility. I made this mess. I have to clean it up. So now I'm carless. I'm carless in LA. What a nightmare. This city is far too big and public transportation is far too terrible here for me to not have a car. So now I'm like, well, I have to buy a car. What kind of car am I going to get? I've convinced myself that it's best if I just lease a car. Right? Now, I'm somebody that's really bougie, and one of my dream cars is a Mercedes-Benz, and I'm still with this toxic ex-boyfriend of mine, and he could not give a crap about the well-being of what I could and could not afford and all of that, and for some reason, I would continuously seek out his advice, as if our lifestyles was the same. Long story short, I'm at a Mercedes dealership, just browsing around. I fall into the temptation of this car. This man is doing a great job pitching me this car, telling me, you'll get this and that. I have a person who's going to give you the lowest rate yet in auto insurance. And of course, I call my ex-boyfriend, like, I really want this car. He's like, get it. Why not? You'll figure it out, what you need to do to pay for it. He's the type of person where he doesn't think about what he buys. He buys and then he figures out how he's going to make the money to buy it. See, I'm not like that. But what he knows is best, right? So I listen. I listen to all this temptation, to the car salesman who's doing a great job pitching me the car. And I listen to my ex-boyfriend telling me, yeah, you'll figure it out. You'll be able to buy the car. Just get it. So what do I end up doing? I end up leasing I think at the time it was a 2021 Mercedes-Benz. My car note was $600, and then my car insurance was around that amount too, because now I have piled on a boatload of car accidents. So of course my car note is quite expensive. I had my car for maybe 3-4 months because lo and behold, car accident number 3 happens with me drinking and driving. So, what a coincidence. I'm back with the same friend. And what are we doing? We're drinking. I had just gotten off a shift, a bartending shift. She had just recently moved into this apartment, and I've been meaning to go by and see where she's living now. But we could never just hang out sober. We drank together. So after work, I got 2 bottles of wine and I brought it to her house and we drank both of those bottles of wines together. Now they know that I'm intoxicated, just like she's known every other time. And why I'm saying this is it's not her responsibility, but I wish my friend would have told me to just stay a little bit longer or maybe sleep there. But my peers were also confident in the fact that I was a good drunk driver. I don't think it's a coincidence at all that any friendship that I had during my time of engaging in alcohol is no longer my friend now. Because you willingly let me leave your house after you knew I was intoxicated. It's not her fault, but I don't know. I feel like I've heard of many other friends saying like, hey bro, it's not cool. Give me your car keys, etc., etc. We finished drinking the 2 bottles of wine. I get in my car, my brand new, beautiful lease Mercedes Benz, and I drive home. I am 2 blocks away from my house. I turn onto this street that always has parking because I live in Koreatown. So when it gets to a certain point in the night, parking is damn near impossible on my street because Koreatown is very overpopulated. But there's a street 2 blocks from me that always has parking. So I pull onto that street. Third accident happens. But guess what? 3 strikes and you're out, Mare Bear. This accident happens right outside of a fire station. So the firefighters immediately come out of the station. And I remember the first memory that comes to my mind, because of course I was blackout, is I'm on the floor crying my eyes out. I see a white firefighter man standing over me and I could see how sad he was for me. And I'm begging him to let me call my dad. And I call my dad and I could see how afraid my dad was for me. And I hung up with my father and I'm asking to call my dad yet again. And they're like, we already let you call your dad. Can't let you do it again. Police come to the scene and I get arrested. My car gets towed and I have to do a breathalyzer. They're asking me questions at the station, but I'm drunk as a skunk. I'm not compliant. I'm acting crazy. I'm being mean. I'm giving attitude. Just a terrible, terrible way to handle the situation. But I was drunk. I end up being taken to a what's it called? It's there's a thing in like a jail where you go, like you're placed in a cell to get clean, because I knew I was really really intoxicated. So I get taken to Van Nuys like holding center, and I'm put in a intoxication cell. I don't know what the name is leaving me right now. But anyways, I'm basically placed in a cell and I have to stay in jail. I was locked up, y'all. I literally spent 3 days in jail because of my drinking and driving. Now they're trying to prosecute me for a federal DUI. So they're telling me that my bond is as low as $10,000 because it's 10% of what the full amount is, which is $100,000. They're saying that I hit a person. It was a lot of misinformation going on with my case. But being in jail was the worst experience of my life. I'm in a holding cell. There's a very small TV that's continuously playing reruns of like Fran the Nanny and just all of those old school shows, and it's outside of the bar cell. I'm in a cot. I don't have a blanket. I'm fed 2 times a day. I could not eat the food. It was horrific. All I had those 3 days I was there was like maybe one box of cereal, 3 clementines, and the juices that would come with a meal. There was no privacy in the toilets. I had asked to use the phone. The phone is literally dragged out to you, placed outside of your cell. I had to be on my hands and knees, put my hand through the bars to be able to dial my dad's phone number. I'm talking to my dad through a jail phone. What is my life? This is the route that I'm going because of my drinking? This is insane. This is insane, bro. My best friend at the time came and visited me when I was in jail. I'm talking to her through one of those screens, the things I used to only see in movies, and now I'm actually experiencing this. This can't be real. Third day comes. I finally have my court date. I'm taken from one jail place to now another jail where I have to sit there for hours, and now I'm seeing people get transferred because I think people would go to this jail to be transferred to other jails. I'm sitting with other inmates and they're telling me their stories, and I'm with convicts, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no way I'm going to survive this. I cannot go to jail. But because they were prosecuting me for a federal DUI, jail time was very much a possibility. And I'm trying to think, how did I get here? Am I really about to have jail time on my record? Like, this is not real life. I get to court finally after sitting in my second jail all day long. Get to court. They tell me that they don't have the right paperwork. So what happens next? They have to take me back to the first jail place that I was held. A detox cell. So I get taken back to the first detox cell that I was placed in. Now I get back there and all of a sudden they're like, you're free to go. I don't question it. I'm like, thank the Lord. Truth is, they end up dropping my federal DUI to a misdemeanor DUI, and I was free to go. So I leave jail. I have to Uber to my best friend's house because luckily she was the co-signer for my current apartment, so she was able to come into my apartment, get my dog. I had to figure out my life while I was in jail because I got arrested. There's a dog at my house. I have to get somebody to come over and pick up my dog, watch my dog until I come out. Just nonsense. I had ran out of money because I called my dad so much while I was in my detox cell. I had my parents load up money on my jail account. Like, I cannot believe this story is even real, bro. What was my life? So, yeah. I ended up having to beat a DUI case. I had to get an attorney within a week of my accident, which only really left me 3 days by the time I got home and received all this paper and figured out all this homework that I have to do. Till this day, I think I've spent probably $17,000 from my DUI. I went about 3 years without driving because I chose to not get a car immediately and have one of those breathalyzers in my car because I was a little traumatized from when I was a kid. When I first moved in with my dad at 16, his now wife had a breathalyzer in the car because of her DUIs. And I would have to literally watch them blow into this machine every morning before driving anywhere. Morning, afternoon, or night. Always had to blow into the breathalyzer. So I was just like, I don't want to be going through that again. I already had to live through that when I was 16, 17, 18, and I wasn't even drinking and driving. Lo and behold, I get myself in the same position my parents used to be in, and now I might have to deal with the breathalyzer. But I chose not to. I just chose to take public transportation, which was really, really embarrassing for me. I feel like taking public transportation, especially in LA, there's just so much shame. It just don't feel good to be sitting at the bus stop, and it's just so public, and everyone just thinks they're so bougie and so awesome, and my life is better than yours, and I'm so perfect. I felt like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I went from having a car, everything's cool, to I just kissed my blessings goodbye. But I took it on the chin because I did it to myself. I had the meanest attorney. He would make me cry. I think he just dealt with too many people who were so far gone. He just had not an ounce of grace in his heart. And whatever it is, what it is, that's just the person that I dealt with. And to this day, now that I've been able to buy a car and I've been able to drive my car for a year now, the first 6 months of me being back on the road, my car insurance was $700. Plus, I had to pay for an SR22, which is $450 odd the first time around. The past 6 months, my car insurance has been $600. So I saved $100, but that's insane because my car note is over $400. So I pay over $1,000 a month just to be on the road. And a large part of that is because of my DUI. To be honest, I finished paying off my car, my last car, not the Mercedes, but the one before that I totaled. I finished paying off that car the same year I totaled it. So I'm literally just starting over again, and everything's really expensive. And that story is something that I always remind myself, so I will never go back to the life of partying. It's just not worth it. The expense of it alone is insane, and I will always be haunted by the 3 days that I spent as an inmate. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah. 3 strikes, you're out. It took not 1 accident, not 2 accidents, but 3 accidents for God to be like, okay, you want to learn the hard way? I'll give it to you the hard way. 3 accidents equals 3 days in jail. So that's my story, and I hate that I had to stick to it because Lord of mercy, it's the most expensive thing I've ever had to stick to. But I'm proud of myself for being able to change and just accept that I was very sick, and it was my illness that allowed me to operate in that way, and I'm no longer sick, and I'm the best version of myself, and I feel free. I feel so free. No longer drinking means that I don't have to worry about how I acted the night before, who I called, what I might have said. Did I hook up with somebody or did I not? Why are me and this person fighting? Man, no regrets on what I wish I could have not said. I look so much better. My face isn't as puffy. I have this natural glow about me. When I was drinking all the time, I had no boobs. I didn't have no butt. I was probably 115 pounds. Now I weigh 135 pounds. This is the largest I've ever been in my life. I'm able to have a regular diet. I'm able to allow my emotions to come and go and properly process them. It just feels so good to be a functioning human being. We never needed substance as kids, so why are we so prone to using them for aid as adults? I promise you, all it does, if you continue on this road, is eventually you'll get to a point where you're asking yourself, how did I get here? Whew. Let go and let God. Thank you for listening to my episode, and happy 2-year anniversary, Mayor Bear. It feels so good. I send you love, wisdom, strength, and courage to get through whatever it is you might be dealing with this week. You got it. You are more than capable. You would not be going through it if you couldn't get through it. On that note, I'll talk to y'all next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.